Welcome back to Hillbilly Pillars. I'm still riding on my Springsteen Tracks 2 epic release, so I figured I would count down my 20 favorite Springsteen songs here with you. This is Love and Thefted from Digital Gramophone. While I've been just kind of in Bruce world, I've been doing the thing I like to do, which is to go to some of my favorite vinyl community channels and look back on some of their content. And I came across John with Digital Gramophone, who had done this years ago. And I thought, I think I could take that on. And it's been a real cool way to have an overview of Bruce's catalog and to consider all the songs in that way. So yeah, here goes my rundown of my, as of today, 20 favorite Springsteen tracks. I will add, as I like to do on this is favorite, not best. That would look different. And also, what do I know about best? These are just the ones that hit me in all my bossy feels. So I got some notes, so if you see me looking down, I apologize for that, but there's a lot to go through with this. We're going to start out at number 20 with Hearts of Stone. That is a Tracks song. I believe it's a Darkness on the Edge of Town outtake. Bruce's ventures into soul music can be a little off-putting for me. Sometimes when it's infused in his songs, especially live, it works. But like his latest release is just not for me. The soul covers just don't love it. And so that can be a challenge. But with this track, it's a slow burning soul song. But it's got a rough hewn edge to it that kind of, even though I think it predates Darkness, it feels like some kind of Darkness river mesh. It feels super Lil Steve, Miami Steve influenced. And Bruce sings his butt off in it in the way he was singing in, like, you know, around the Darkness on the Edge of Town era. And I just love everything about it. I love the chorus. He's apparently on a payphone, and he's or she's calling her, and he's like, "But I can't talk now. I'm not alone." And so that hints at the nefariousness about the relationship, and maybe kind of informs us of why they are not together at the moment. But yeah, I'm going to start with Hearts of Stone off Tracks. Next up, Country Bruce. To me, this might be, to me, like the most convertibly like country song he has. I don't know. Anyway, it's One Step Up off Tunnel of Love. Another guy-girl song, starting off with the first two. And as the title suggests, it's one step up and two steps back. And there just seems to be this wall, like that can be in relationships, that just keep the narrator in this song from being able to, and his love interest, to be able to push forward in their relationship. And it kind of feels like an inevitable ending is at hand, and the narrator's coming to grips with that. It's got, a great kind of towards the end of the song reflection. The narrator's, there's a girl across the bar. I get the message she's sending. She's not looking too married. And me, well, honey, I'm pretending. And it's not something he's excited about. It's like a resigned fate of searching for what he's missing in this other person because he can't get it from the relationship he's in. And it's perfectly tuneful, the way a lot of Tunnel of Love is. It just works right. And yeah, so number 19 is One Step Up. Going even later in Bruce's career, at number 18 is Maria's Bed off Devils and Dust. This to me might be my pick for like the most infectious Springsteen song. Another way to put this is like, great sex is awesome. It's kind of the theme of the song to me. You know, it's said a lot more poetically than that, but it's this character. He's out on the road, got a hard job, but kind of digs his life, and he finds his sanctification and The Light of the World in Maria's Bed. She talks about her taking you to the upper room. All these kind of hints at that wonderful type of ecstasy that can be spiritual. And there's something about it, the groove of it. I get a big smile anytime Maria's Bed comes on in my mix or I play it. So, yeah, on 18, I'm going with Maria's Bed from Devils and Dust. Next up, and I will fight the critics of these. Actually, the albums, I get it. There are some misses, but number 17, I'm going with the title track from Human Touch. Human Touch. Just an incredibly great crafted pop song. And you can't separate yourself from your experiences with songs, especially when you're talking favorite list. And these were the first releases, Human Touch and Lucky Town. What was it, around 92 or 93 or something? So that would have been when I was a senior in high school. And I remember that I had a single. That is for ye younger folks, that is a cassette tape that was just a single song, usually have an A and B side. And he released these double albums of Human Touch and Lucky Town, and there was a single release before the album came out that had Human Touch, and then the other side was Better Days off Lucky Town. And I wore that thing down in my car until literally I broke it. So, I mean, I might have in one period of time listened to those two songs more than I've ever listened to some other song in a small period of time. I love it. It's kind of highlights a frequent revisiting in Springsteen songs as far as romantic relationships go, of like, stuff's hard, life's tough. Maybe some of our past romantic experiences are tough, but I know you're lonely, I'm lonely too. Maybe we can find something beautiful if we can commit to each other. And who knows what the future may hold, but for right now, what else is there? And let's do that. Let's look for a little bit of that human touch. So yeah, that's number 17, Human Touch. Moving on, I'm going back to tracks, and that is Take 'Em As They Come. That is, I believe, a River outtake. That may be Darkness Again. I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter. But this song holds a special place in my heart because for the Springsteen and E Street Band reunion tour, I believe it was 99, my brother, his friend Red, and I went to 3 shows in that. Columbus, Ohio, then Buffalo, New York, and then Albany, New York. So we kind of went on a road trip. It was an epic road trip. We also caught Bob Dylan at the University of Delaware, and then just had gotten into her recently. Me and I introduced him to my brother and his friend Rhett, Lucinda Williams, and we caught the final show of the Car Wheels on a Gravel tour in Towson, Maryland. Of all places, had my elbows on the stage. So as I look back, it's probably my favorite youthful concert-based road trip that I did. But the very first Springsteen E Street Band reunion show I saw, so this is the first time I was seeing Bruce with the E Street Band. The very first song I ever heard them do was Take 'Em As They Come. And that was because we got to the first show early and they were sound checking it. And we're walking outside just checking out the arena, and you can hear it just clear as day. And I'm like, are they doing Take 'Em As They Come? You know, and like, tracks hadn't been out that long, and it's just an incredible, like, oh man, if they're like rehearsing that, and we were, at the time it was easier, we were remaining, unknown of what he was playing and what the set list looked like, and I was just like, the whole world opened up. Like, they're doing that, he can do anything. But outside of that place that it holds because of that, it's a killer Bruce song. It's kind of, once again, kind of reflective of the same type of themes as Human Touch. It is, all right, the world's coming at us, me and you together. Let's just band together and try to take all that hard stuff as they come. So Yep, another track song. Moving on to number 15 is some serious latter-day Bruce, and that is Wayfarer off Western Stars. To me, Wayfarer kind of best encapsulates the really cool, I don't know, the way they've termed it, like a Glenn Campbell type of vibe to the song. It's just smooth and wholly set apart from the rest of Bruce's catalog, which I just really celebrated, you know, especially in his run of latter-day albums. It was just really different from other stuff he was doing. And it is a standout track on that album, and just a cool one. So number 15, I've got Wayfarer. All right, moving on down the list. At 14, I've got The New Timer from the Ghost of Tom Joad. Just a really elite narrative style Bruce song. Really sparse, and to me is kind of like Bruce really planting his foot in the sand as far as being along that line of early Bob Dylan and Woody Guthrie, and that kind of based in the soil of America songwriter lineage. Tells the story of a person who leaves his family, sets out on the road. It's just a train riding person across the country. He befriends an older person who has been hitting the rails now for decades by the time the main character meets him. In the song, this older person, spoiler alert, gets murdered for no other reason other than just the cruelty of it. And so the character is left to kind of deal with his life on this open road without his guy, and considering like what that means. And the closing verse is as haunting as one Bruce has written. Going back on this one too is kind of fun. I don't have a copy of it, maybe my friend does, but two friends and I, way back in high school, did a music video for this in black and white. And we like illegally went around the train track areas where I grew up. And I was the actor in it, unfortunately, and hopping on trains and stuff. And so we, while other people were doing actual real things in their lives, we were filming music videos for random obscure tracks on the Ghost of Tom Joad. All right, so that's number 14. Lucky number 13, Jackson Cage, a river banger. I think it's almost like you have to have a song to represent. For me, I would have to, like, those first 5 tracks or so on the river, just comes out hot. And to me, Jackson Cage is always the one that I've kind of like clung to. It is, you know, Bruce mines the same veins often, and you know, it is that kind of, he is aware of a woman who has allowed the ugliness of the world to cause her to retreat and kind of be a prisoner in her home and her work. And is that something I think a lot of us can relate to in these modern times? It's pretty amazing that it's this kind of song, and it was pre-internet, and it was like, now, you know, I don't know, maybe more of our lives reflect Jackson Cage than don't. That's kind of a sad thought. I don't know. As I'm recording a thing to share on the internet with people I had never like shared space with. That's modern living. But yeah, Jackson Cage, I find it really impactful, but it's also just a great rock and roll song. I caught one of the Bruce shows where he did The River in its entirety, and I got to see Jackson Cage, so that was a really cool thing to get to check off my list, and it didn't miss anything live. I felt just as good about it then as I do now. Say hello to my dog, Willard. At number 12, Inyo, the title track. I know, it's too soon, but this is my list. I have just absolutely had my butt kicked by the album. I did an earlier video, you know, recapping the Tracks 2 box set, and a lot of stuff on it I love, but particularly adore the album Inyo, and the title track to me is just perfectly crafted historical narrative song. And I just don't think anyone can quite do that like Bruce does. It tells the tale of water being brought from the Owens River in California 200 miles south to Los Angeles, and it's just constructed beautifully. The narrator of the song is a man who helped build the aqueduct, and then later, when water started getting drained from the Owens River area above and beyond, and like killing the local farming and all that kind of stuff, this same character helps the ranchers and farmers blow that thing up, blow the aqueduct he helped build up. And these are historical things that, you know, it's you're taking license with it, but that did happen. And it's just, every verse is beautiful, and it builds on itself, and it's timeless. And I just immediately, I've listened to it, 100 times at least already, and it was instantly, I'm like, this is an instant classic Springsteen song. So, title track off the album Inyo. And let's go to number 11, Brothers Under the Bridges, 1983. It's weird that you gotta say 1983. Once again, going back to tracks, there was, I believe, a 95 version that is a slow acoustic tale of Vietnam vets who have retreated from society and have their own kind of like brotherhood. But of course, the world can't let them even have that peace and comes for them. That I remember seeing that on the Ghost of Tom Joad tour, and it was a really killer. Just like everything at those shows, I kind of, man, I wish I could go back and, time machine and go back and see one of those Joad shows again. I think in the moment I knew it was awesome, but just didn't know how kind of timeless they were going to end up becoming. Just really, really incredible stuff. But this one is not that one. This is the 83 Born in the USA outtake track. And this tells the story of two brothers growing up, dreaming of joining the Brothers Under the Bridges, which are the guys that would come into town who stretched out in their tool sheds all winter long, building cars to race. And these two 14-year-olds got the pictures of the cars they would get on the walls. And yeah, it just rocks. It's alive. I know in the Promise documentary for the Making of Darkness Edge of Town, his manager John Landau talks about how they kind of focused on this idea of creating a sound picture. And there's a lot of like noir film influence in all of that for Bruce. Well, if he's creating a sound picture, to me, this song is like Springsteen's Spielberg. I can just see young actors like in a Stand By Me or something playing these two kids and like dreaming of going out and seeing these tough guys drinking beers with girls that would never pay attention to the 14-year-old guys on their arms, racing cars, and them growing up and dreaming one day joining them. So my number 11 song is Brothers Under the Bridges. I can kind of see how long this has gone, so I'm going to stop there at 11, and I'll record another one to do the top 10. Thanks for watching.